Roughing the passer calls.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to week 7 of Roughing the Passer Live. As always, my name is Drew, or as you know me, the DH, or as my shirt says today, the freaking Herndon. So we've got it there. And along with me, my man, as always, Mr. John Newman. What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Hey, I could keep my Steelers stuff on for another week.
There you go. Couldn't keep the Panthers stuff on, so had to go elsewhere. But we figured, we got this shirt, and it was pretty sweet since it's a Trey Herndon shirt. But we just replaced that R with the H, and it's the frickin' Herndon instead of Trey frickin' Herndon. So it works for me. But anyway, guys, yeah. Anyway, guys, welcome to Roughing the Passer. We've got an awesome episode for you guys today. Please call in and join the show. Whether we're talking about anything, if we're giving out our game balls and goats and you want to talk about something completely different, call in, talk about it. Whatever it may be, click that link. You do not have to be on video. It can be just your face just your voice if you want. It doesn't have to be everything, it can be however you want. But we'd love to have you guys call in, talk some football with us. Let us know, whether it be a thought about how your team did today, how a player did today, if you disagree or agree with something John and I say, whatever it may be. Call in, join the show. This show is about you guys. Like, it's about interacting with y'all. But I guess, John, we'll dive right into the scores this week. And I ran them down last week, so I'll let you run down some of the scores this week. Let me pull up the scoreboard for you here. That would help if we could see it. There we go.
Well, your Panthers, I tell you what, they're playing good football. But, they're right there. I was watching that scoreboard. They were right there with the Saints the whole time. So I think you got the right coach. Most people would have thought the Saints would have rolled the Panthers, but not the case.
I do think we have the right coach.
Yeah, I think so, too, based on performance. The Buccaneers doubled up the Raiders, which I thought might be more of a game than it turned out to be. Sure. Tom Brady with a big day. We're going to talk about the Buccaneers. A lot of storylines there.
We'll talk about a lot of that later. Yeah.
Chiefs looking like the Chiefs again, taking the Broncos to the woodshed 43-16. The Jaguars were right there with the Chargers most of the day. The Chargers pulled away late, 39-29. Justin Herbert looking good again. Doesn't look like a rookie. He's playing very well. This game was surprising. The Bills and the Jets, very close. I believe the Jets were winning at halftime or pretty close to it. The Bills came back to win. Shootout, 71 points combined. You got the Browns and the Bengals, with the Browns winning. Baker Mayfield doing some Baker Mayfield stuff. And you got the Packers and the Texans, kind of coming back to earth after playing some inspired ball for Romeo Crennel. Washington beating the Cowboys. How about this?
I know.
Cowboys got quarterback issues. I actually just hung up with Jerry Jones. He was trying to talk me into playing QB. I told him I was a defensive guy my whole life, so ain't gonna happen. But all joking aside, they got some serious issues there, and you got players talking about the coaching staff and McCarthy that they're the most unprepared. So there's fire brewing in Dallas. The Lions and How about the Falcons? Just they know how to snatch defeat away from victory. It seems like
they do.
most of the year, and again they lose at the end by a point to the Detroit Lions. My Steelers hung on, and that's what I'll call it, hung on, because they did not play well in that second half. It took a Gostkowski miss to hold off them. He had a good game today. I'm not saying he's a Pro Bowler, but he played well today. And where are we? The Bears and the Rams are tomorrow. And right now we got the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Russell Wilson doing Russell Wilson things. It's 20-7 at the 2-minute warning. They just actually scored.
Yeah, so it was a crazy week, man. The one thing I noticed as I looked at that scoreboard was, good God, the Falcons is right. The Falcons, I want to say one thing, and I want to start off the show by touching on this. We talked about this on this show last year when I started pushing for Dan Quinn to be fired with my different notes every week, hidden everywhere. We've been pushing for this for a long time. When a coach loses a team, especially a team with talent, they can play like an awful football team. When that Super Bowl was over, Matt Ryan and Dan Quinn lost that team. Matt Ryan eventually won his players back over because he's the guy that plays on the field with them. Dan Quinn never had that opportunity and repeatedly showed that he completely lost that team. And Atlanta took way too long getting rid of him. Because you look at how they're playing now, nothing's changed. Nothing's different. Personnel's not different. They didn't just get healthy. These are just guys that want to go out and play and win football games as opposed to, these teams that would just do what they normally do. Today just happened to be one of the most insane endings of a football game I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, man. If they didn't have bad luck, they'd have no luck. That saying.
Yeah.
I think they really need to. They got receivers and Julio Jones and a guy I love and Calvin Ridley, who I think arguably might be the best receiver in the NFL. But soon.
No,
and they got weapons that the running backs are an issue. Matt Ryan can play. Is he Pat Mahomes or Russell Wilson? No, but the guy's probably gonna be a Hall of Famer. He's getting old, getting a little long in the tooth, but it's not like the cupboard's bare. I just think they got some coaching issues. Maybe there's some bad dudes in the clubhouse that are cancers. As the saying goes with players, they need to really. Now they're without a GM, so they got an interim GM.
Yeah.
Arthur Blank's got to get the right guys in here. They got to sit down, evaluate the talent, clean up some of the bad chemistry probably going on in that locker room. And I don't want to say rebuild because I don't think. Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I like him better. But,
me too.
I don't know if it's a rebuild because I think.
No, look at this. Look, this is a team that has a lot of talent, and I'm going to pull it up right now, and we'll take a look at it. This is how they lose the game today. Last second pass had to be reviewed to see if it was even a touchdown. This is not a team Atlanta is not a team that's getting blown out every week. This was just the quarterback scrambling and the tight end Hawkinsberg makes the right play. You hit the right way. This has just been Atlanta's luck. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just going to continue to happen that way. I don't know what it is, but I will say one thing. Being a Panther fan, God, is it fun to watch. Just watching different ways for them to lose every week is a beautiful thing.
I gotta say, man, I usually don't feel sorry for other teams' fan bases, but my heart does go out to Falcons.
Oh yeah,
fans.
It goes out to Falcons fans. Yeah,
you keep getting your heart ripped out like every week. Here you got where most of the Falcon fans wanted Dan Quinn gone, probably sooner than it happened. Now he is. And, they really haven't shown much difference really since the move. I think there's other issues there. I think there's personnel stuff. There's some locker room stuff. I think you got probably guys. I haven't watched full games. I've seen bits and pieces. You probably got guys not playing very hard or quit, just cashing their check.
Yeah.
And
Well,
especially on probably the defensive side of the ball, again, continuing to give up leads late. That's usually a defensive issue. Gurley. Yeah, Gurley was a weird signing, and he did have a couple games this year. He's on one of my fantasy teams.
I actually like the Gurley. I like the Gurley signing long term, but we don't have probably long enough of a show to discuss that whole thing, But I actually like the Gurley signing. I just don't like the way they're using him, but he definitely fucked up pretty bad today.
Well, they let go Freeman, which I get. He's long in the tooth. The guy I thought they were going to really like and go to, Ito Smith, obviously. They don't like him as much as I thought they did. They went out and got Gurley. They really need to figure out what they're doing at running back because they got receivers in Ridley and Julio. And, so they really need to figure out the running back. They got problems on the defensive side of the ball. They they gave up Beasley, gave up there, although he didn't play terrible, but he was up for a bigger deal. They didn't want to pay him. So, they got to work some stuff out. They got to get a GM.
Absolutely.
They got to get a coach.
No, you're right. They've got a lot of stuff that they do have to fix there, and I think they'll eventually do it. But we'll move on now, guys. And remember our question of the day. You can call in. It does not have to be about this. It can be about anything you'd like. But our question of the day is: Antonio Brown and Tom Brady reunite. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Call us, let us know. We'll give you our thoughts on that a little later on in the show. But, John, I wanted to move on real quickly to one more game because it was kind of a theme today, and that was game-winning drives. And there was one that was just one of the most beautiful throws I've seen in a long time. And when I saw who threw it, it blew my freaking mind, and you probably know who I'm talking about now. But I'm going to get this queued up for us right here so we can take a look here. Let's take a look. Game-winning drive yet again, setting the stage. Bengals and Browns, close game. Here we go. Baker, what a throw. And what a catch.
He had a second half of the ages, man. 22 for 23 in the second half. I don't know what the QBRs there. Almost got to be almost perfect, if not perfect. 5 touchdowns. Probably, let's say it, probably his best game as a pro now in the league. Joe Burrow played well. This was a shootout. 37-34, 71 points. Not defenses didn't really play super well. Listen, this is my division right here with being a Steeler fan.
Right.
These are two teams that are not far away. That's crazy to say, The Browns have weapons. Their defense is pretty good. Miles Garrett, sans the Mason Rudolph incident, is a player. I believe he's got like a sack every game now for I don't know how many straight games. The Bengals got their quarterback. I really do believe that now. They got AJ Green still showing a little something. Tyler Boyd looks like he's coming up to that wide receiver 1 level. And I mean, if the Bengals can shore up their defensive side, Joe Mixon, I know he didn't play today, but he's capable RB1, and so. These are two teams that are not far. When we traditionally when we think Browns and Bengals, we're thinking, also
God,
Rams,
why
right?
is this game on TV? Oh God,
these
blackouts.
These are two teams that are not as far away as we're used to seeing.
No,
it's kind of weird saying that as a Steeler fan, and so it's going to be interesting to see. It's funny. I really like Joe Burrow, and I knew obviously I knew the Bengals were going to grab him at 1, but I was like, man, the one team I don't really want him to go to, being I like him. You know what I mean? As a Steelers fan, you kind of want to root against, and obviously I'm going to when they play each other. But you know, I believe in him. I said that before the draft that I think he's going to be an elite talent, depending unless the Bengals really screw him up.
Yeah,
I don't think they are.
No.
I think they got a shot. You know, I said the big thing with him is, you know, are they gonna build enough around him in the 2-3 years they're gonna have him to convince him to stay there and not just sign the next deal and get out of Cincinnati. And so right now, early returns, you know, I think you know, he's got a shot. I mean, this could go south real quick. You know? Yeah. So no, but Dan, I'm drinking. You know, Dan Serby is watching. He's a football guy. He's talking about he drank. There's some alcohol in here too, and I'm on the air, so can't be that bad.
No, man, absolutely, guys. This is an adult show. We come on at night for a reason. You can be hammered on the show if you want to. I don't care. Call on a show, have some fun. Let's talk football. We're men. Let's talk football. Let's talk some of these awesome games. That's what this is all about. We'd love to hear what you guys think, what your opinions are on the league. If there's any questions we can answer for you. DFS and fantasy too. It's not just about football. Anything that you'd like. I'm about to check my DFS in just a minute to see how it's going because I've been killing the 4:00 games. Russ for MVP, I like that a lot. But we're going to move on now, John. Real quick, before we'll do game balls and goats towards the end if we have time today. We'll do it real quick because I want to talk about one game in particular because I'm going to make an incredibly bold statement. And I want to make it on the air right now so it's on the record. All right, so the game is the Chargers and Jaguars. Obviously, 39-29 Chargers take the win. Justin Herbert, 27 of 43, 347 yards, 3 touchdowns, as well as 9 rushes for 66 yards and a touchdown. This is a guy who... This is a Jacksonville defense that even though they're 1-6, they're not 1-6 because of their defense. They're 1-6 because they can't really score, and they don't know that they have one of the most deadliest weapons in the league in Shenault on that team. And I look at this game today. I see Tampa right here, and then I look at their division. And you take a look at their division right now and where you're standing after 7 games right now through the year. You've got the Chiefs at 6-1, the Raiders at 3-3, and then the Broncos and Chargers at 2-4. I don't trust the Broncos at all. The Raiders, I don't know what team that is. A couple of weeks ago, I thought they were Super Bowl contenders. Now, I think they could be bottom dwellers again. I'm going to go on a limb right now. Justin Herbert will lead the Chargers to the playoffs and win a game this year.
Well, I don't know I don't know about winning the game in the playoff, but
nope, he's winning it.
Yeah,
I'm making the call right
good,
here.
Man. I mean, think about this quarter. You know, I was a little down on this year's draft.
Me too.
But I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised. Look at the quarterback play, right? You know, you got Burrow looking like a veteran, even though he's a rookie. Herbert playing with a lot of poise. You got Tua ready to take the reins, and you know, talk about what a quarterback class. And I think it's one of the best wide receiver class in a while too, with Jefferson, Shenault,
Jackson. I mean, there's so many. Chase Claypool, Judy.
Yeah, I mean,
Ruggs,
Jerry Judy, who's dropping the ball. He's got to clean that up. Henry Ruggs is doing all right. With the Raiders. He's young. You know,
there's a lot of guys
haven't got as a Raider guy.
And there's a lot of guys who haven't had the chance to touch the field yet either, too. There's a lot of these guys who haven't got reps yet.
This year's quarterback and receiver class are really showing out. Running backs, not so much, but we kind of knew that. We kind of knew that going in.
Well, I'll make another prediction right now. Speaking on the draft, you said that I was not high on it at all when it started. I thought it was going to be a very weak draft. I thought it was going to be deep, but I thought it was going to be deep in like linemen, special teamers, like guys that fill position and fill important roles, but not to where we are right now. I'll go out on a limb right now and say that this could be the best draft. Everyone's going to point to Pat Mahomes. Well, that's all cute and everything, but everyone else in Pat Mahomes' draft was not near that good. So I take away that draft a little bit. This could be the best draft in the last 6-7 years and maybe the last decade when it's all said and done. Yeah, you're looking at a lot of players that are going to have major impacts on their team for years to come. You still there, John?
Yeah, is that me or you?
No, you good. What's up?
All right. Well, I think you hit it on the head with this draft. I gotta admit, I was kind of wrong. I thought it was going to be, last year's was going to be better. I think this year's a better class. I would have never thunk it, and yet here we are. I mean, we're not even halfway through the season, but some of these performances, man, especially from these quarterbacks. Justin Jefferson looks like an all-pro as a rookie. I mean, it's insane. I mean, they're not even missing Stephon Diggs, and I liked last year's class, but I'm liking this one better, at least right now.
No, absolutely. I completely agree with you at that point. On there, hold on for 1 second. All right, we're trying to get somebody. We may have a guest joining us here in just a moment, so I was getting them over their information. But no, I completely agree with you. And guys, speaking of guests, one guest that I would love to have would be any of y'all. I would absolutely love for you guys to call in and join the show. I would like to hear what you thought about either the AB situation, how your team played today, whatever it is. Call in, let us know how you thought your team played, whatever it may be. Call in and make a bold prediction like I did and get it on the air. I mean, that's why we do this. So I can be made to be a fool later or not. So we'll see. But we'll move on now, John. I just wanted to touch on Herbert for just a little bit today. And I guess what should we move on to now? Should we move on now to our game balls and goats while we don't have a caller on the line?
Yeah, we can do that real quick. I got 3 of each.
Okay. All right, you go right ahead. You start off with game balls, and then I'll do mine, and then we'll do both.
All right, I got 3 guys. I mean, we criticize him quite a bit, but today he showed out. Got to give credit where credit's due. Baker Mayfield probably had his best game as a pro. Got to give a game ball there. Led him to a 3-point victory in a shootout. Mm-hmm. A guy that's unheralded, but you know what? He plays well every year. Kind of a possession receiver. Buffalo was kind of treading water today, and this guy just kept coming up with those first down catches to keep drives alive. And they wound up grinding out a victory over the Jets. 11 catches for like 120, 130 yards. Cole Beasley, white guy, white receiver, got to represent.
Yeah, got to represent, man.
He's one of those guys, man. You look at him and he doesn't scare you, and then you look, the game's played, and he's just catching ball after ball and those possession. He's not burning anyone down the field or anything like that. He's not a game breaker on that sort of level. He just keeps moving the change, extending the drive, and then they score, and you're like, man, this guy just killed us on this drive. And he's one of those guys. And listen, Aaron Rodgers today played well. Maybe they should draft a quarterback every year. Apparently that gets them to play well.
I know.
So those are my 3 game balls.
3 game balls. I like them. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I can't argue with any of them. Baker played wonderful. You got to give him the credit where credit's due, especially as much as I bash on him and everything. But for my 3 game balls, first off, I talked about him a minute ago. My man Justin. I'm sold. I was sold on him before. I've been buying him for ages. You can see in front right here. He's all over the place. I love him. I think he is going to be and I'm not saying he's going to be Pat Mahomes, but I could see this being he might take the Lamar Jackson spot in that if Lamar stays in the AFC as the Peyton Tom of this generation. Like, he's got that talent. I thought it was going to take a year to get there. The fact that it's coming so fast is scary because his ceiling is high. So first game ball has to go to Herbert today. Second game ball, you're going to appreciate this one. Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm convinced that this is a team that if I'm listing Super Bowl contenders from each conference and I'm listing 5, they're one of them. And it was after the game I saw today, but my second game ball today has to go to Deontay Johnson. 9 catches, 80 yards, 2 touchdowns. The kid's battled injuries for a long time. He was really, I thought, in doubt of losing that role to Claypool. But the nice thing is the Steelers have that 3-headed attack of Juju, Deontay when he's healthy, and then Claypool. And that's a scary, scary combination when you put it all together. And so we'll see exactly what happens, but I really like Deontay Johnson. And my third and final game ball of the day, I give him it's so hard for me to give him credit, but I'm going to give him credit. Alvin Kamara, he won the game for him today. He was key in this entire game today against Carolina. 14 carries, 83 yards. His longest was a 32-yard run, which was in a crucial moment in the game. Averaged 6 yards a carry. Only having 14 carries, you're saying that's not a lot. Did a lot of damage in the receiving game, but he was really the ultimate reason that they beat Carolina. We had no answer on him, and he was able to use his motion to confuse a very young defense. And so without Alvin Kamara, the Panthers win that game. So I got to give my game ball to Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, can't argue with it. That I like Deontay Johnson. The only thing I'll say
what's that?
Yeah,
we got 2 callers.
If you want to bring them on.
Yeah. First off, we're going to bring in Antonio Serbia. Hold on, bud. We'll get to you next. What's up, Antonio?
What's up, man? I take preference over Serbia, I say. That's good to know.
You called in first, but also, what's up, my man? How's it going?
It's going okay. My Cowboys didn't look so hot today. That was brutal. But I've been telling people, when Dak got hurt, and I heard people coming out with the proverbial, well, this offense not going to lose that much with Andy Dalton. He's a pro. I was like really worried because he can't do the same things that Dak can. You can't just put anybody in there. It's not like that. The NFL, especially with these muddy pockets and these, if you can get outside the pocket and throw on the run, it's great. If you can't, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
especially if you don't have an offensive line.
Yeah, Andy Dalton's not a runner where Dak is. Dak can extend the play. Andy Dalton's not going to extend the play. You don't want Andy Dalton extending the play and taking shots. And I think that showed today. I mean, what do they do? I mean, they got to, in that division. Here's the crazy thing, Antonio. In that division, they're still right there. Even with today's bad loss, they have to go out and sign somebody or trade for someone. I heard a rumor again. You can't believe half the stuff you hear. Matt Stafford's from Dallas. Yeah. And so they're talking about he would love to come home.
He'd be on the first flight out of Detroit. Anyone would.
Yeah. They got to do.
What's up, Antonio?
Well,
what do you think they do?
The problem with Dallas is the offensive line, period.
Yes.
I mean, they've lost 2 starting tackles, and then the 2 backups, they've lost those 2 guys as well. Now Zach Martin's gone. So it's like they just don't have the live bodies. And if you watch I've been watching it because they were on. I'm in New York, but they
I was going to say
showed
I'm a Brooklyn kid. You sound like you're from New York. How does I get grief for being a Steeler fan from New York City? How does that happen?
Yeah. I'm upstate, but the Cowboys thing. I mean, I've been a Cowboys fan since I was little. I love Danny White. I love the whole concept of he could always punt it if he was in trouble because he was the punter as well.
That's right.
Here you go, Antonio. Here's a nice Super Bowl ticket from the second time y'all played the Bills. I went to that game.
Nice.
But anyway, man. So for those that don't know, Antonio does a lot of DFS and fantasy writing. For what website is it, bud?
I do my season-long stuff. I read a waiver wire column for fftoday.com. I've been doing that for almost 20 years now. And over the past couple of years, I've been writing for windailysports.com, which handles basically anything that DFS related. And recently on our Discord, because we have a premium Discord, our premium membership includes like Discord chat with all the writers, so you can kind of get them on the horn before lock and get their advice on lineups. I just had them add a trading cards subheading. So now we're seeing a lot of collectors going on and talking about it because I really kind of want to talk about this with you at some point. The correlations between fantasy and trading cards.
Well, that's actually a great thing, and that's something, John. I know Dan's a collector as well. You want to bring Dan in, and we can tackle that for a little while tonight.
Yeah, Dan is writing for I think it's fantasy something, and he's melding the sports card and the fantasy card world. So let's bring him in.
Well, then this is perfect. So we've got 3 writers. John, I don't know how much you write or if you did.
Years ago.
Okay, well, then we got writers, we got content creators. So, I think this is a conversation that definitely needs to happen. Somebody, if you can, turn your microphone down a little bit. Yep, there we go. Well, hello. Okay, there we go. All right, so
it's gotta be Dan. Turn your sound down.
Yeah, Dan, turn your sound down, bud. Here, I'm gonna just pull you out, Dan, for just a second. Put either in headphones or turn your sound down for just a second. Let me know when you're ready. But Antonio, I want to discuss this with you as well because the current hobby market, for those that are in this, and I know there's a lot of crossover, it's really like, I mean, it's turned into day trading almost, where things move by almost the Instagram posts can cause things to, happen. It's absurd.
I've been checking my Justin Herbert 26 out of 27 RPA. That Cobalt that Gilmore pulled me. I've been checking that all day to see if I have new offers in on that thing based on Herbert's day.
Yeah, and you'll start to get offers in on that depending on where it is. And here we go. We got Dan back. What's up, Dan?
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good, buddy. How's it going? Welcome to the show.
Glad to be on.
All right. So
and I actually went through and changed a price on one of my cards today.
Really? Because
Harrison Bryant had the 2 touchdown game. That could make the Bryant card worth, an additional $20 just for a huge day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it can absolutely change. John, what do you think? What do you think the future is? Let's focus here. What do you think the future is in terms of the correlation? Do you think it, with gambling being such a big part of the hobby now in general too, are we going to start to see more of an influx, maybe even types of games, certain types of ways of selling? I don't know what could happen.
Yeah, I think with football, let's be real. I believe this. I know we got the World Series going on right now, but football is the American pastime. I mean, my wife watches football. The Super Bowl is probably the greatest event in sports now, and it's probably been for longer than we think. And it's. I know we have Thursday games and Monday night games, but it's really football sort of one night a week where most of the teams play. Where the other sports are kind of basketballs every night, baseballs every night. People look forward to Sunday, football Sunday, tailgate. I think basketball is I was reading an article, their viewership is down.
Yes.
I don't know how many percent. Some of it they got very political.
Now I do want to preface one thing while you say that the viewership is down on television, but the viewership is up on alternate forms of media. So it's not, there are skewed numbers, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think they got very political. Sometimes people don't want that in their sports. I kind of fit sort of that description, and the players. Let's be honest with you, a lot are overseas draftees. So some people have issues with that. I don't, but some people do. I have more issues with the political statements they like to keep making, but. I think basketball kind of took a little bit of step back. It's still widely popular. I'm not saying it's dying or anything like that, but I think this is a great opportunity for football to really kind of move up as far as in the card aspect of what we're talking about. And it is the form of day trading, and this is the year to do it. It's a boom year for the hobby. A guy has a big day, and people are going to selling platforms and buying guys up. I'm guilty of that myself, and what I like to do is I like to sell off of those markets too, especially a guy I don't believe long term, has a big day, but long term I don't think that's what you're getting. That's when you sell at that ceiling, and so that's a two-way street, buying and selling. And I think football is a perfect sport. Because you can watch one day, which is what and do it. You don't have to watch every day. You can just lock in on a Sunday, see what the performances are like, and then base it off that. It's a lot less work for those that don't want to put in the work.
That's a lot to unpack there, man. That's a lot to unpack. I mean, I have a couple points. Number one. Separating sports and politics is impossible. I mean, the history of sports in America is the history of politics in America.
Yes.
From labor issues to human rights issues to everything that's happened when people first started playing sports professionally in this country. I mean, owners as business owners, players as employees, and it's remember, it's professional sports, so it's always been about money. It's always been about power. It's always been about politics. I mean, that's
having said that. Having said that.
But I think watchability also has to do with the fact that these football games are on during the day. Yeah. When kids are home and they can watch it. I mean, when my uncle was watching the World Series back in '64, I mean, they would have the teachers would come in with the classrooms and they would literally watch the game right in school. Or on the radio. But now, these games, I'm falling asleep before these games are over because they're starting at 8 o'clock. And it's just impossible on the East Coast for me to stay up for some of these West Coast games. I mean, it's why for years Mike Trout's cards weren't where they were supposed to be. And for the first 5 or 6 years of his career, they weren't where they were supposed to be, even though he was just as good and everybody knew he was a surefire Hall of Famer because people couldn't see him play as much.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because we do have a little bit more of the show to go on through tonight. But I've got a question for you to kind of wrap this up. You're very, very, very heavily involved in DFS. I know because we work together on a lot of lineups. Obviously, you've been writing for a long time, and you're also involved in the hobby quite heavily. Do you see these these two forms of gambling merging, so to speak? Like, could you see FanDuel, could you see DraftKings getting into the card game in some way, shape, or form? Because you're seeing a lot of technology companies and a lot of tech companies now that are buying up some of the most expensive cards in all sports. Do you think that this could be something to where DFS and daily fantasy and stuff like that could have some type of connection to the sports card world?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you could see something as simple as cards being offered as prizes in tournaments. You know, from base cards to like, this is for a, you know, like a really sharp Patrick Mahomes base, or they could just buy up a bunch of PSA 10s, you know, and then have like the first few prizes be PSA 10s and the next few prizes be PSA 9s, just like break groups do. So there are those possibilities. But it's also up to individual companies to do that themselves. I mean, it wouldn't have to be FanDuel. It wouldn't have to be DraftKings.
No,
it could be some
anybody.
other company that has an idea, and they could just basically say, we have all these cards to give away, and we're gonna make our money off of them by having people sign up for contests. And as long as the scoring's legit and the algorithms are legit, it'll work.
Absolutely. Well, Antonio, thanks so much for calling in, man. We got another caller. I think Dan's got everything worked out, so we're going to pull him in, and then we got to do Shit Whip of the Week and wrap up this week's show. So thanks so much for calling in, my man. And please call in next week anytime. Call in, give us some DFS tips. Who's your hot guy for next week? Name one name, a sleeper for next week for everybody.
Wait, are we talking? I haven't even looked at the schedule.
I know. Just throw one out.
Well, listen. After seeing what we saw today, let's talk about Justin Herbert. I mean, it's a tough matchup next week, but who knows?
All right, there you go. All
Thanks,
right,
guys.
Well, appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Thanks, Antonio.
All right, Dan, the link is right there, my friend. And, you know, John, that's an interesting conversation because it really could become something like, you know, I mean, we never thought StockX would be here, and it's here. So who knows what other type of gambling stuff could infiltrate the hobby. But Mr. Serbia Sports Cards is back, and I don't hear my voice, so it sounds like he's got everything fixed. What's up, Mr. Dan?
Am I good now?
You are wonderful. What's going on, bud?
How are you guys?
Doing good. How you doing,
good
buddy?
evening.
So what's going on? What can we do,
man?
Yeah,
don't jinx it, man. I don't even want to talk about them that much because you know it's. Listen, it's obviously nice to be 6-0. I'm not giving none back, but I'm cautiously optimistic. 1 week, you know, you don't get nothing for winning the regular season, so there's no regular season Lombardi. We'd have a few more if that was the case, but. You know, it's good. I think the thing that I'm more impressed with, you know, in past years we found ways to give up games late, and this year so far, knock on wood here, this year so far we're holding on to those games, and so we're gonna learn a lot about this team. Let's be real, this week when they face the Ravens, we're gonna learn a lot. You know, I said we got the Ravens and then the Cowboys. I said we got to win 2 out of those 3 games. We got today's game, you know, Texans, Ravens, Cowboys. I was saying, man, if we can win 2 out of those 3 games, I'll take it. That was obviously before Dak went down, looking ahead at the schedule. We got the one today, that Dallas game. Again, I don't want to jinx nothing. That Dallas game looking a little bit more obtainable at this point. And so if, you know, I don't want to lose to the Ravens, but if they do drop that game and then beat the you know, Dallas, you know, you're at 7-1, 2 out of the 3, like I was hoping, best case scenario. If they beat the Ravens, I mean, that's a big game, and not so much for standings wise. It's a division game, but we're going to see how good we really are. Most people, you know, in the AFC are putting us right now, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and you know, and the Bills. That's the 4, right? And so we're gonna see where we rank why playing him? And traditionally, you guys know how this game goes. It's a brutal battle, big hits, guys getting hurt, and see who comes out of it when the dust settles.
Yeah. Well, speaking of brutal and big hits, I don't know if you would like to join since you've never been on the show during it before, but we've got a shit whip of the week this week. Would you like to join us for our shit whip of the week? And then we'll get into any question you got.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, we've actually got 2 this week because there was just 2 that were freaking beautiful. So the first one, we're going to stick with it, John, and we're going to stick with your lovely, lovely.
Yeah, Vince Williams.
Lovely Steelers here. And, well, if it shares and doesn't freeze on me now. A lot of technical difficulties with StreamYard tonight, guys. I do apologize for that. StreamYard can be a pain sometimes.
Try the other one. See if that goes, and then we can come back. And
hold on. All right, we're going to try this again. I'm going to try this again and see if it works. Can you guys hear me here?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep.
Okay. All right, here we go. All right, so now let's see if this share screen works again this time. And this time doesn't screw it up. But first shit whip of the week is Tannehill getting absolutely bodied. Oh,
oh yeah, I gotta give him credit, man. He got right up. I obviously watched this live, and I'm like, they might have, Vince Williams might have killed him.
No, yeah,
I was actually waiting. The way the refs are calling flags this year, I was like waiting for them to throw a flag, but he's out of the pocket. He's a runner. He didn't slide. Yeah. So, but you know how these refs are. They just see the brutality of the hit and the flag just comes out. I was waiting. It was a big drive for Tennessee, and I was waiting. If they would have got that flag, it would have moved them 15 yards closer. I almost thought they were going to get it. They didn't, thankfully.
Yeah.
It was a clean hit. If you watch it, they slowed it down during the game. It was a shoulder hit, shoulder to shoulder, so wasn't leading with a helmet. But at full speed, those things are brutal, and you always worry about a shitty flag that shouldn't be thrown.
Oh,
thankfully,
absolutely.
They kept it in their pocket. But yeah, that was kudos to Ryan Tannehill, man. He propped back up and still did well. And I'm reading Nick Abel's comment. The Steelers, they held on. Yeah, I mean Gostkowski missed it. I watched the game. They did not play well the second half, especially on the offensive side. Cam Sutton today stepped up in the starting role with Mike Hilton now and played very well, and that's good to see. They're playing well again. Piggybacking off Dan's question, but I'm not cashing any Super Bowl checks just yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, we have 2 nominees, so you got to let me know who your winner is on this one. But the second nominee for Shit Whip of the Week this year, and I love when we have 2. It's 2 quarterbacks. There's really like 7 that we could have taken today. But this one, it's in slow-mo, so you don't get the full effect. They're not showing it in fast motion, and that's because he ultimately got hurt. But this is just fucking beautiful. So here we go. Mr. Andy Dalton just... I mean, you want to talk about a day going from bad to worse? Like, Jesus, dude. Like, my God. Like, that's just That's just absolutely absurd. And who was it that hit him right there?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry he got hurt. I like Andy Dalton. He's a
No,
really
who
good
was
guy.
it that hit him there?
But look, the ball and the helmet went in the same direction.
I know.
Like, I mean, I could see like one of the other players like falling on the helmet, just thinking it's the ball. They kind of just went in the general same direction. But yeah, Dallas, Dallas has got some issues now for sure.
I want to get on my soapbox for a second, if it's okay, after shit whip of the week, because there was one that I wanted to show, and Dan, feel free to talk as much as you'd like about this as well. But I've got a big problem with one play that I wanted to show, and I will not show it because I will not give him the time of day for the rest of my journalism career. And this man has 3 modes, in my opinion. He's either amazing and at the top of his game, suspended, or hurt. That's all he seems to be able to do. All 3. Can you guess the player? Myles Garrett. He got in trouble yet again today. It's all he does. He's either suspended, hurt, or he plays great. He can't do anything right. This guy is a problem to football. And Myles Garrett is one of those guys where if you want to look to clean up the league, I mean, with everything he did today, with his track record, I mean, he's getting to the point where he's making Sue look laughable as like this bad guy.
I was gonna say he's getting into Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, he's territory. Way there. He's way there.
Yeah. No, I missed today. I didn't hear about this, so
Jesus. Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up while I get y'all's opinion on everything.
Yeah, I mean the whole Mason Rudolph thing. I'll comment on that while you're queuing that up. Yeah. The whole, it was terrible. We all saw the helmet to the head. Luckily, it was a glancing blow rather than a direct shot. Could have killed somebody, man. That's crazy. And then the whole story came out where he said Mason Rudolph used a derogatory term. No one else claimed to hear it, including his own teammates. They had a mic, one of those boom mics on the sidelines, the big radar-looking things. They reviewed that tape. That wasn't picked up on that. Mason Rudolph actually was so incensed that Myles Garrett accused him of that. He considered filing a lawsuit for slander.
Yeah.
And this thing took a soap opera kind of look to it. He's a great player.
Yes, he's amazing. He's amazing.
He's a great player, but he's got to, if this stuff is going to overtake his performance, then Cleveland just gave him a huge deal. They're locked in, so they, someone's got, if he can't behave, someone in that room's got to sit him down and say, listen, you're a great player. You don't need to do all this stuff and just focus on doing your talking with your play.
Yes. No, absolutely. And just for your pointless stat of the day, random stat of the day on my pick of Justin Herbert being a guy you're going to be seeing a lot of. Justin Herbert is the only player since at least 1970 with 1,500 plus passing yards and 100 plus passer rating over his first 5 career games. So quite impressive. But Garrett today actually played really well. He had a strict sack fumble, had a little bit of a late hit on Burrow that I can't get to pull up, which is what everyone kind of brought it up again. But it's just something that I wanted to discuss because Myles Garrett just disgusts me. And just you've got to figure something out, and you've got to become a man. You've got to take care of this. You've got to be a professional. But we've got about 5 minutes left. So, Dan, you're here on the show. It's first-time caller, I believe. So you got any questions, any comments, anything you'd like to ask the frickin' Herndon or Newman?
Raiders just absolutely deflated me today. Jesus. Oh,
okay,
man.
so you're a Raiders fan, huh?
Yeah.
Well, then I got some questions for you then. Which Raiders team is legit? Because I looked at this team 3 weeks ago, and I thought you guys were Super Bowl contenders. I look at you now, and I think you're dumpster dwellers. Like I really thought you guys were building something because you were playing so good, basically in the preseason. And I thought that once you guys got everything together, but it seems like the longer you guys play together, the worse you get, which is the complete and total opposite of like everything. And so I just don't get it. But what Raiders team are we seeing? And do you think David Carr is there next year?
Derek Carr? Yeah.
Yeah.
Derek Carr. Derek Carr is there next year.
Oh, so you're fucking saying this shit while you're.
I love a wife that curses. That's great.
She's all about it.
Tell her I said what's up. Tell her I said what's fucking up. No, but David, Derek, I mean, they could bring in Bob, their uncle, who cares? But which is this Vegas team legit? What's going on? What is this team? You know, who are they?
Okay.
For what they are, honestly, every once in a while they show up. I believe Abrams is a hard defense is gonna. That's pretty much what they need is their defense to show up because I think their Carr can do enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna perform enough. He's a game manager, if you will, but an above par game management.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
no, absolutely. And I mean, you guys got Josh Jacobs, Lynn Bowden Jr., Henry Ruggs, lots of good pieces. You just need to get that quarterback together. And I think you could get something special going on. I don't know if Chucky's the right person for the job. I don't know if it's just me, but he gets scarier with the mask. Like I like him more with the mask. Like he looks menacing.
Right.
His evil eyes just take this sinister tone in that mask. I expect him to walk out with pyro at WrestleMania. It's fucking wonderful. I love it. But Dan, we're gonna have to wrap up the show here in a minute. So thanks so much for calling today, bud. And hope to hear from you soon next week or so. But have a good one, my friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
Take it easy.
Yeah, just my comments with the Raiders, Drew, you know, is I don't know. Like I'm not surprised they lost. You know, Tampa Bay's a pretty good team. I guess I'm surprised by the score. You know, and the Raiders added some defensive pieces, but you know, they reached for Farrell from Clemson. And then they got
big time.
You know, I know they could have had Josh Allen at that spot. And then this year, it's almost like Mayock is trying to like say, I'm smarter than the room. Watch this pick.
Yes.
And even the Ruggs pick. I'm not even saying Henry Ruggs is not good.
But he is good, but he was a reach. He was a reach
like
there.
You could have picked someone else at that point, and even potentially traded back up and got Ruggs too. I mean, it's like I don't want to give Gruden a pass, but I think Mayock dropped the ball on a couple of these draft picks.
Absolutely. They could have easily taken those picks, traded down, and still gotten Ruggs and gotten another piece. And let's face it, the Raiders weren't missing Ruggs, and that's it. They need multiple pieces. So they completely whiffed on that. I completely agree with you on that. And
the Farrell pick, he's not played great. He's not played terrible. But, you know, he's the number 4 pick. And when you look at all the other guys they could have had in that slot that they passed on to take Farrell. I mean, you know, I remember when they made the pick, the analyst on I think it was ESPN were like, wow, you know, they almost were speechless. And again, like you said, if that's your guy, I'm not saying he's terrible, but if that's your guy, trade back and get him and acquire more picks. And they had a lot of picks, you know, but I don't know. I just think they reached. I think Mayock, you know, who I like Mike Mayock, but I think he got cute on some of these draft picks, and I think it's showing a little bit in some of these scores and what's going on. And again, you know, I'm sure Gruden has a hand in who they draft, so he's not off the hook completely. I think they sort of mishandled the Derek Carr deal with flirting with Brady. I mean, if you're Derek Carr and you're like,
Yes.
they're going after a 45-year-old guy, how much do they love me? That's got to get in your head and screw with you there. And the fact that we're talking about is Derek Carr the answer, he hears that. It's on other radio shows, and it's, and so I don't know. I think Derek Carr might be better off winding up playing somewhere else and getting a change of scenery. He hasn't played bad. If you look at his QBR and his numbers, he's played well.
Yes, he has.
The defense, I mean, you give up 40, you give up 45 to Tampa Bay, you're probably not winning the game.
You're probably not winning, yeah.
I don't fault him for what's going on in Las Vegas. I think the defense is not playing great. And I know it's old news now, but when they traded Khalil Mack, that defense was never the same. They've tried to replace him with some of these draft guys. It hasn't happened yet. Yeah. And I think it's showing now they're being exposed a little bit for that.
Well, I completely agree 100%. But before we wrap everything up, man, there is one thing I want to pull up on the screen for about 10 seconds or so, because as you guys know, every single week we do our picks. John Newman started off this season on absolute fire, and I started the season absolutely terrible. Newman has still done very well, but I've caught a little bit of a hot streak. Yeah, he kind of got a little hold, but I've caught a hot streak. This is not including this week's games. This week's games are on the picks. But taking a look right now at what we've got, let's get down to the actual. There we go. So we are. Look at that, 15-9 to 15-8-1. So this week I could finally take over.
I lost the first two games. If you pull that up, I'm 0-2 to start with, and I think I won the third one and the fourth game. I won the third game with the Bucks, and the Rams play tomorrow. So the best case is 2-2.
I had to hit
3 again.
I had to hit the Dallas over, right? The Dallas over was what was the Dallas score?
25-3. No, you didn't hit it.
Oh, no, okay. Packers won by
Packers, you won. Bears are tomorrow.
Okay.
And you're looking good in Seattle. So right now we both might be 2-2. Might be a push.
Might be tied after this, but 15-9-0 for Mr. Newman. 15-8-1 for myself. So, guys, when I say come check out the picks and put some money on them, I mean, these are solid Vegas numbers this year, John. What up, Mr. Basile, my man? Hold on, real quick, John. Real quick, shout out to Eric Basile and Hit and Run Cards. If you guys are in the hobby, Eric runs one of the best rooms around hit and run sports. Everything from singles to packs, all that cool stuff. Has a lot of the neat national packs and all that type of stuff, different type of stuff. Really good room. Really great guy, Eric. Nice to see you. Thanks for watching the show. But what's up, John?
I said, next year what we should do is where we pick like we do now 4 games with the spread, and then we should do also where we pick winners for the week. We pick all the games without point spreads, just who we think's going to win.
Sure.
And see how we do that. And that'd be interesting. So we have almost 2 standings.
No, absolutely. Hey, I absolutely love that idea. We will definitely be doing that next year. But guys, that is gonna wrap up this week's episode of Roughing the Passer, week 7. Can you believe it, dude? Like we were talking about, oh God, are we gonna get to play football? And we're almost halfway through the season with very little to show for it. I mean, very little bad stuff to show for it. It's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's like I said, I think this is the time of year, Drew, where we start to see what teams really are and where they're going. And know, it now injuries become a factor. Who's going to hit? We see Dallas now is really behind the 8 ball. And that's the crazy thing. In a normal year, Dallas would be done, but in that division, they're still right there. They could go out and somehow sign somebody. Blake Bortles. What about Blake Bortles in Dallas?
Right. Well, what about Blake Bortles in Dallas? That's pretty funny. But yeah, Blake Bortles could maybe be a quarterback, but the potential is for him to be there. Yes, no, he does. I'm just joking around because Blake Bortles is a joke to me. But anyway, guys,
you don't want Blake Bortles to be your starter,
right?
But you are.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of the show and for calling in this week. Hopefully you guys see how easy it is. You can call in and ask about anything. If you want to talk a little bit about the hobby and how it relates to football, be my guest. If you want to call in and say, hey, what's this guy's cards going to do lately? We'll answer it. If you want to talk about why this guy sucks, then we can talk about it. If you want to talk about how your team fucking blows, whatever it is, then, we're here to do it because this show is us and you. The whole show works when you guys interact. So thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Dan, for calling in today. And guys, for Mr. Newman and the DH, aka the freaking Herndon. We will see you guys next week. Take it easy, y'all.
Taking it. Good night.
Roughing the passer calls.